Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video, or welcome if this is your first time here. Thank you for joining me today, and if it is your first time here, thank you for coming to my channel and visiting and checking it out. I hope you stay, and if you want to see more of this content, more of this type of informative content, I focus a lot on the environment, veganism, intentionality, and if you want to see more of that, please click subscribe and come along for the journey. Today's video, I'm going to be helping you all figure out what to do with things that come across in your life that you did not necessarily ask for. I think I originally thought of this, actually I didn't think of it, I had a friend who suggested it in the comment section, so thank you to that person. And then I had another friend who texted me and gave me a bonus idea to include onto this video. So thank you to all my friends who helped me out. If you want a video about a topic of your own interest, please comment it down below and I will probably get on that right away. When I originally was thinking about this though, I was thinking a lot about the holidays because they really were only last month, and during the holidays, this year was a little bit different, but in past years especially, I have received a lot of gifts that I did not ask for whatsoever. I did not need, I did not want. I could have lived 100 years without. So today's video is what to do with trash you did not ask for. Also, when you think about it, none of the trash we receive was really asked for. No one, I hope not at least, when people buy things that are wasteful, they aren't doing it to intentionally be unsustainable. They are doing it because it's either convenient or fun or enjoyable for them, and they have different priorities than me, I guess. But the term zero waste was intended to be for companies rather than the consumers, yet it has been put on us to produce less waste, which is obviously a challenge. We really have such little say in the things that we need to survive on this planet. It doesn't mean you shouldn't pay attention to what you buy, because every time you buy something, you are voting with your dollar. But to live realistically, unless you're me and that's like your goal, to literally have no trash and not have a trash can when you're older one day, then this is what you can do to help reduce the amount of waste that you really can't avoid. You know, we don't always have a lot of say in the gifts we receive, and even when you do ask for something, it usually will come packaged in a lot of excess stuff you don't need. I think this video really is going to focus a lot on the R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, rot, compost, decay, everything in that genre, because that is what we can do. Let's go. So starting off with reduce, because it is the first of the R's. I think maybe it's not, if there's all like the rethink, repair, re-gift, like there's a whole bunch of R's. If you look at the whole like 8R chart thing, there's a lot of R's. Reduce is one of them though, it's very important. Reducing any waste or any material possessions you need when possible is the best thing anyone can do for the planet. I understand the comment I received specifically said when you can't avoid it, but I honestly think almost always you can avoid it. And if you don't think you can, really consider, do you need that item that you are buying that's coming in the packaging? Sometimes it just requires you to think outside the box. I've shared this before on a few platforms, TikTok, go follow me on TikTok, it's linked below, Instagram, things like on my other platforms, maybe even here on YouTube. I've shared one thing I've been doing during this remote learning period for school to reduce the amount of paper, because paper is kind of an unavoidable thing when you're a student, but to reduce the amount you need, I've been using, right here actually, I've been using this little whiteboard, and it's just like using paper. I mean, there is a plastic pen with it, whatever you want to call it, marker. Because we're doing remote learning, I've been able to use this whiteboard to the best of my advantages and reduce a ton of paper. I've taken tests with this, I've done homework assignments, just when teachers say to quickly write something down, and then you never need that stuff down again. It's like I don't even have to scan it. I usually will just end up scanning this and it's saved online. But if you already have a whiteboard at home, I really suggest just using that tip. It's helped me reduce the amount of paper I need substantially. You can also try reusing paper that was already in the recycling bin, using less paper by using the whole sheet of paper, maximizing the space given, and make sure you're writing on both sides. I do have to say there's still some troubleshooting that needs to be done. You know, I have one teacher, for example, and I'm totally gonna hate on her here, but I'm not scared to do that. I don't love her. She has a system that really does not help the planet whatsoever. She does these things called fill-in notes, where she expects us to print out the notes and then fill them in with her throughout the class. It frustrates me to see someone who clearly doesn't notice like these 50-page packets that every student has to print out just to take notes. And I actually have not been doing that. I've just been writing the notes the way that I best understand them. The fact is that fill-in notes don't work for everyone. That's the idea that she wants everyone to print them out before people even know if they're useful is a big waste of paper. And what's so frustrating is that this being remote has given us such the opportunity to make everything online and on the computer. Yet she's like, oh, let's print out paper. I'm gonna expect every student to be able to access a printer, access paper, just use resources. Like, we have millions and millions of pounds of paper. I've just been doing my own thing. It's been working. I have an A in math. I'm not failing. And to be honest, I care more about the planet than I care about the square root of 72. So her way of teaching is not only really hard for us students, we're not thriving as a class, like we are confused, which is probably why I have an A, because she keeps taking off like every grade because no one's doing well. But it's also horrible for the planet. For things like Amazon boxes or plastic bags, I think you can use the second R in the 3 R's, which is reuse. Again, it's also really important to minimize the amount you're buying from these companies, especially Amazon, because they aren't doing all they can for the planet, and there are many other places that are doing so much more and solve your issue with having extra waste because they don't give you the extra waste. Trash can almost always be used more than once, even if it's an item that you typically would just put in the trash bin. See if you can give it any other use. For example, right now we are getting our groceries delivered because of the pandemic, and that results in a lot of extra plastic bags, and we've been able to reuse them in various ways. I think it's also really important to redefine what you have to have. You often just don't need it. And I have a blog post on eco-minimalism and figuring out if something is worth buying. It will be linked below for you. And for most things, you can almost always find a more environmentally friendly option that is reusable and comes in very, very minimal packaging. These are really just things to consider, but when you are looking into items, look for the ones that have low, minimal, compostable, recyclable packaging, or none at all if you can get it. Lastly, when absolutely necessary, I recycle. When you need to get rid of something that can be recycled, do so. However, do not try recycling something that cannot actually be recycled. I think it's even more important to make sure you're throwing things away properly than recycling. Just doing that itself can help save the planet in very impactful ways. I also do think we need to know reduce, reuse, recycle, and not put recycling up on a pedestal as if it is some magic thing that's going to save the planet, because all it does is save a little bit of resources. And often that recycling will just end up in the trash with the landfill, in the landfill with the trash. That's just a straight up honest fact. Like I've mentioned before, only 9% of plastic actually gets recycled. However, if we recycled properly, I'm sure a lot more would actually be able to get recycled. And recycling properly saves a lot of energy and resources. I hope the video was at least somewhat helpful. As always, if you have any further questions, please leave them down below, or any new questions. I would love to answer them for you. Feel free to let me know. I try my best to respond to every comment I receive. The blog post for this video is linked below, as well as the minimalism blog post. And please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, do everything that you know you need to do, because these are important topics I'm covering. I think the word needs to get out to everyone. So until next time, peace.